Good morning. I think you will agree with me when I say that one of the questions we've all probably asked ourselves is this: will I get to heaven? Where will I go after I leave this world? And to be honest, it's perfectly normal for us to ask this question because salvation is our ultimate goal. We all want to be saved. That is the reason why we are here this morning. That is why we make sacrifices to attend Mass every Sunday, to pray daily, to go to confession regularly, because we all want to be saved. I don't think anyone here wants to end up in hell. That is why in today's Gospel, someone approached Jesus and asked, "Lord, will only a few people be saved?" It's like asking, "Will I get to heaven? What about my loved ones? Will they go to heaven too?" And what was the response of Jesus? He does not give a direct answer. He does not say, "Yes, many will be saved." He also does not say, "Only a few will be saved." Instead, he shifts the focus and says something deeper. "Strive to enter through the narrow gate, for I tell you, many will attempt to enter, but will not be strong enough." In other words, Jesus is telling him, do not worry about how many will be saved. Instead, ask yourself how you can be saved. So the right question here is this. The right question is not how many, but how. This is such a powerful shift. Sometimes we get caught up in wondering who's in and who's out, who's saved and who's not. But Jesus is asking us to look inward and ask ourselves, am I living in a way that truly leads me to heaven? We might say, I will be saved because I go to Mass every Sunday. I pray the Rosary daily. I visit the Adoration Chapel. I even go to confession regularly. But what does Jesus say? Do not be too confident. It is not a guarantee that just because you do these things, you will get to heaven. Yes, you go to Mass every Sunday and you pray the Rosary daily, but your attitude is terrible. You hold so much anger in your heart. You don't know how to forgive. You always see the negative in others. You are selfish. You don't know how to share. You are judgmental and you complain all the time. Do you really think you'll get to heaven like that? No. That's why in today's Gospel, when people were knocking at the door and said to the master of the house, "Open the door for us. Didn't we eat and drink with you? Didn't you teach in our streets? Aren't we close?" What did Jesus say? "I do not know you. Depart from me, you evildoers." Brothers and sisters, God truly wants us to be saved. In fact, this is what our first reading assures us of. It is God's dream that we all enter heaven, because heaven is not just for a chosen few. It is for everyone. But for us to get to heaven, we need to make the right choices. We need to be transformed like Jesus. The goal here is not just to be close to Jesus, but to become more like Jesus. He wants our relationship with Him to transform us. He wants us to become more like Him, to think like Him, to love like Him, to forgive like Him, and to serve like Him. That's what it means to enter through the narrow gate. So today, let us take a moment to ask ourselves, not whether we are close to Jesus, but whether we are becoming more like Him, so that when people see us, they will also see Jesus in us. Let us therefore live like Jesus, because when we live like Him, that narrow gate becomes easier to go through. Amen.